Wait, these aren't whites. They're Italians.
It's all right. This podcast is brought to you by Jake recreating Mikey Forrester's apartment from Trainspotting. Which is a reference he doesn't know. And we're live.
Love saving.
Where do you want these?
Just in the bookshelf. Yeah, right there.
Nice. Shootsy scores.
This podcast is brought to you by Hubble. They make a good baby monitor.
All right, whoa.
This is weird. I don't like where we're sitting.
I like where we're sitting right now.
I don't like it.
I do. I'm warm. I can look outside too. I can see.
I feel like I'm like in this fucking.
It's fine. This is nice. What's
Get this fucking thing out of my face, Joe Rogan. What's going on, buddy?
All right. So what you all right? So welcome to the Black. I was supposed to do.
Am I still in frame?
Yeah, you're good.
Am I good?
Yeah, you look handsome, babe.
Cut a little off of me. I look skinnier.
The camera.
Turn the camera.
Camera takes off 20
Camera
pounds.
adds 60 pounds of depression weight.
That's a good start, right
Rolling,
there, buddy.
baby.
That's what's on your list, buddy. Where's it at? I got
have
mine.
a physical list.
Yeah, lay it on me. I'm excited to hear about
I have a
NASCAR.
Notepad list. My first topic of the day: NASCAR shirts sparking conversation.
Oh, okay.
I've had two different people since we last spoke. One was the older gentleman and his wife in Wawa. I went in for a chicken patty, and I go out to my car, and to my amazement, they gave me a burger, a chicken burger.
Chicken
no,
boyga.
it was a beef burger, actually. But no biggie. I go back in. I'm like, hey, I ordered a chicken patty. You guys gave me a burger. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll remake it. And I'm wearing this hat. And this old guy walks up to me, and I only talked to him because they messed up my order. The way the timing worked out.
Was this an employee that walked up to you, or
just a customer? It was actually the night you went to the race.
Oh,
so
cool.
I later in the conversation, I'm like, "Did you go to the heat races tonight?" It was like that Friday, the first night, and he was like, "Nah, we didn't make it over." Blah blah blah. But he came up to me, he's like, "That's an old hat." And when it's older people, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, it's from a Facebook ad." It's just like it's a new remake. The trademarks probably ended on it, so someone fucking started selling it.
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, I found it online. Like, it's pretty cool." I was like, that was Winston Cup when I was growing up racing. He's like, and then I had a Daytona hoodie on.
Nice.
He was like, did you go last year? Because it's 2023. I'm like, no, my girlfriend got this for me just like randomly because it was half off because it's last year's shirt. I'm like, fuck it, it's a cool shirt. He's like, me and my wife have gone down every year since 1984, and they're just telling me like all these stories of like different drivers they met, and like, he raced at Bridgeport Speedway for.
Cool.
30 years or something like that, and he raced the car for some guy who lived on Church Road. He's like, you know Jim Bob Smith on Church Road? I'm like, yeah. I'm just kind of going along with it. He's like, I raced his late model car at Bridgeport Speedway for 34 years or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It was pretty cool. And
this was controversy? Or
no. No, I said NASCAR shirts sparking conversation.
Oh, I thought you said sparking controversy. I'm sorry.
Not at all. No, not even a little bit. Quite the opposite. It was just nice interactions with other NASCAR fans. Yeah. So he told me his whole thing. He actually knew the guys I raced with at the Marmora dirt track back in the day. He's like, cool. Fred the Flag Man. He used to work on my car with me and me and Billy Joe and all like people I don't really know, but he knew the guys who like Sam and Harvey who ran the track, and like it was just some common ground there. He's like, I ran some races there. It's for pussies.
Yeah, good.
He raced on like a real track. Bridgeport Speedway's big. This one that I raced at was like a fun little 8-mile go-kart track.
That sounds like fun.
A bunch of hillbillies would just drink beers and fucking beat and bang. It was awesome, but that was cool. And then the other day I was checking out a DoorDash order at Walgreens, and the lady, I think it was the hat again, she was like, oh, Winston Cup, like that's cool. She's like, I used to be a big Jeff Gordon fan. My
pussy.
I was like, he was my favorite when I was a little kid too.
He's a fag.
Nah, Jeff Gordon's sick.
Nah,
He's like one of the best ever.
We went to play paintball one time, and Tom's dad and uncle invited us over to like I think it was like one of their houses to watch like a race or something after we played paintball because we were like in the general area. Then we went over there and I just walked in. I remember Tom's like whole family. Jeff Gordon just overtook somebody and Tinkerbell. Like everybody's yelling at him.
Jeff Gordon was one of those polarizing drivers where it's like you either loved him and you were a huge Jeff Gordon fanboy, or it was like Jeff Gordon's a fucking fruitcake. He drives a rainbow car. Like, so when I was little, I loved him because he was winning a lot, and it makes. I actually heard this on a podcast recently. His stats between like 1994 and 1999 or something, which is when I was like early watching. Not peak, but like that was when I was getting into it as a little kid, like probably from like 3, 4, 5, when you start having an understanding of what's going on, like 4 and 5. He was my favorite because it makes sense because he was winning a lot. He had like a 20% win rate those years. So like 1 out of every 5 races he was winning. So it's like, and you're just rooting for the guy who's fucking killing it. Like,
and it's not like you have like an affiliation to, like, you're not rooting for the Flyers or the Phillies or the Eagles or something.
I had teams then too, but you ever just switch teams a bunch when you're little?
Yeah, because you don't really know what you'll like yet, and it's like those colors are cool, and then the next week it's like you see this guy on the news and he's like handsome. Or
I was a Vikings fan for like a year, literally just because I liked the purple and gold.
Yeah,
like it's just like same with the Buccaneers. I'm like, I like that golden red.
I remember there's a picture. The one year it was like there was 2 book fairs or whatever, and the one book fair there was a book about John Elway, and the picture of him on the cover was him like posing for the camera and smile, and he had like a big grin. And I was like, that guy looks like he's really happy doing what he does. My mom's like, I'll get you that book if you promise to read it, and I did. It was like a little 40-page biography on John Elway, and he was almost a baseball player instead of a professional football player at one point. It was
probably a fucking cannon on. Imagine John Elway on the mound, dude. Yeah, that's throwing some fucking heat, dude.
He was like, well, because he had like the physique of Randy Johnson, but he was big, so they're like, you can take a hit. Like, we're gonna put you at QB, and like, yeah, and it was natural. It was like, but I just remember that, like the same exact thing where it's like I didn't like the root for the Broncos or whatever. It was like, I know John Elway, like I recognize that name, so I'm gonna root for that, at that moment,
Yeah. So to wrap with that lady, like she ended up divulging into a story about like her brother-in-law who had since passed, but he was a huge Rusty Wallace fan, a guy who retired like 15
Did he
years
pass
ago.
Into the wall.
No, her brother-in-law I think died of cancer or something. Oh,
that's
not
horrible.
Fun.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was only in probably her 50s, so it was like kind of a younger guy.
Damn, dude. God damn.
So no, he wasn't a race car driver. He didn't.
Just a race car
He didn't
fan.
pull a Dale and go into the wall. But she got him some. They used to sell like they're like Letterman style jackets, but it was like NASCAR.
Yeah, like the old Marlboro jackets that you send like 1,000 or 10,000 tops.
No, you could buy these, and it was just like a not a leather jacket, but like a whatever material, and it just had like the logo and the fucking every team had them. They probably still do. And she got her brother-in-law, the Rusty fan, one of the Rusty Wallace jackets, and like got Rusty Wallace to sign it. And then like when he was on his deathbed, he was like trying to give it back to her, and she's like, "No, that's yours." And then like her mom was like, "Oh, I'll take it."
Oh, Jesus,
cool jacket. And now her mom is like dying, and she's like, my mom tells me that I have to take the jacket when she dies, and she's like, "I don't want the fucking jacket." And I said, "I'll take the jacket."
Dude, it's the worst.
That's a pretty sick jacket. Like,
it's gonna give you cancer. Don't take that jacket. It's the sisterhood of the traveling pants, but you got to get chemo when you wear them.
That's fine.
No, it's not.
It's a cool jacket. I got my grandmom's signed Michael Waltrip hat. Is that going to give me breast cancer?
It might.
And dementia. Yeah, she was cool. It was cool meeting some fellow fans. Like once a week, someone would come up to me. Sometimes they're just like, "Cool shirt," and I'm like, "Thanks," and that's the end of it. And I'm fine with that. And then like, the one guy was like, "I take it you like NASCAR," and then he was like trying to sell me his fucking old NASCAR merch.
Nice.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I don't want to buy your like 90s diecast cars. Like, they're cool. I'll look at them, but like, I'll come hang out in your garage, but I'm not buying anything.
I don't get the same response usually because like I wear like pretty neutral shit, like or stuff that says like Oceanside or the podcast or whatever. But once in a while I wear that YouTube.
Has anyone ever said anything to you about the podcast?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
There's been a couple episodes actually where I talked about people that see the sweatshirt while I'm playing poker, and I'm like, yeah, here, take a sticker. I gave out stickers like a week ago too. Like,
never go wrong with a free sticker.
Yeah, I mean, it's
even
fun.
if I think it's gay, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, most people are like,
I took a sticker at the barbershop the other day. I'm like, are these free? He's like, yeah. I'm like, sick, dude.
This one
free advertising.
I gave the dude one, and he was like, I'm going to use this as my card protector tonight. So I felt like I at least gave him something that he was using practically, But
me, I just stick them in urinals.
Same. Eat out of the urinal, drink out of the urinals.
Delicious. Dude, you pull the button, you got fresh water coming out.
It's
I'm not gonna waste it.
Delicious fudgy soup with cigarette butts in it.
But me of construction porta potties. Nice.
The
smoothie.
Yeah.
They always smell like cigarette butts in urine, dude.
Did you see the thing Tony sent
It
the other?
smells so bad.
You see the thing Gurley sent on Snap the other day where it was like, "Look up," and it's like you're a faggot.
It's like you're a dickhead or something. They're always in there.
It's so funny.
Or he'll just be like, "Look up, look up, look up, fuck you." Or,
Yeah. Look up, look right,
jokes
look
in
left.
your hands or something like that.
Yeah. But
I'm a fan of porta potty art.
yeah, porta potty.
Did you see the one on my story like a week or two ago?
No,
it was like
what
some
was it?
long poem berating Joe Biden, but it was like subtle. So like if you look at it, it just looks like some "Dear Joe, you're a fucking homo." Like it's some thoughtful fucking like. But he wrote it in big letters, and it was the entire door. So like I opened the door, and I'm like,
This is a work of art.
I thought it was gonna be like, "There I lay, broken hearted, tried to ship and only farted," but it's like, "Dear Joe, I know you like little kids." It's just like some shit like that. Like, as they caress your leg hair in the pool. It's like, if you don't... He said shit like that.
That's weird. I mean, yeah.
You ever hear the quote of Joe Biden talking about that?
Yeah, corn pop.
Yeah. I don't know.
No,
I think they referred to him as corn pop in the poem. I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, there was like he was talking about being a lifeguard or something. And there was a black kid that like swam up to him and felt his leg hair, and he's like, "Oh, it's corn pop. Corn pop was a bad thing." It's fucking weird Delaware fucker. He's, no,
I don't even want to go into Biden talk.
So back on the shirts though, I wear that one shirt from the other podcast or not podcast, the one YouTube channel I like called Stop It Douchebag.
H3.
No, not H3. Stop It Douchebag. They're that Russian channel that like they put the sticker on people's windshields and run away and shit.
Like Cartnarks.
Yeah, so I was gonna segue into my first topic is Jay getting mad at Cartnarks. But yeah, the I always walk around. There's the occasional person that's like multinational or like a J1, and they see it and they're like, "Do you know what your shirt says?" And I'm like very proudly like, "Yes, it says."
Oh, it says it in Russian.
Yeah, it says it like in Cyrillic, and it's like yeah, I pee where I want. I'm a douchebag. They're like, "Why are you wearing that?" And I'm like, "I like it. I like their channel." And they're like, "This is not popular. Where like as
really?
popular like because Russia's fucking huge. So like there's just like people like it would be like us being interested in like local centric radio in like Sacramento, California, or like Juneau, Alaska, or something like that. Just like it relates like when you hear Shane talking like Matt talking about like Wawa and shit like that, but if they have the same equivalent like out there, it probably hits hard, but not as hard as like when you get the local references, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, we're talking about like Wildwood and Sea Isle and stuff like that.
Exactly. And like so like these Russian people are always just like, "What, you're a fucking idiot kid." Like usually the people like when I'm playing craps or something like that, the dealers are like,
they're like the equivalent of like a prank channel in Russia, probably.
They're because they're like tough, and like they actually have a thing. The last time I checked in on the channel, they were working with the police to get them stab proof vests, because like so many of the cops get stabbed by like drunken people with knives.
Fuck, dude.
So they were like, their philanthropy was like buying stab proof vests for.
Would you rather get stabbed or get shot?
I got I've chopped my fingertip off, but I don't know.
A stab to the gut would hurt more than like a bullet to the arm.
Yeah, I mean, if you get shot, if it hits a bone, then you're fucked. Like because it
Both
breaks.
probably stink.
I don't think either. There's funny. There's a GIF I saw where it's a fake, but it's this GIF. It's a really old one of a girl that's got a guy with his cock hanging like in front of her, and then he pulls out a pistol and shoots her in the lung and makes her start sucking his cock. But it's fake. It's like it's just
I was like, I'm too high for this.
It's supposed to look like
I feel like I'm watching Best Score on Josh Watts' couch again. Dude. Like, I gotta get out of here.
I'm 16. I'm sweating Joe Rogan. This is too
I gotta ride my bike home.
But yeah, the Russian dudes are basically Cartnarks, and Jay got mad at Cartnarks last night, and I like put it on for him, and he's like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "His name's Sebastian. He's on that radio show in California called The Woody Show." And my dad just like watches in silence for a couple minutes. He's like, "I don't like this guy." I'm like, wow.
He is kind of a douche about it.
Jay said the exact same thing. He's like, "Yeah, he's annoying." I was like, "But it's like one of those things where he only is annoying to you if you." I was like, "Do you put your card away?" My dad goes, "Every single time." I was like, "Then you would not have this interaction."
The only time I don't mind is it's like when it's an obviously handicapped geezer.
Yeah, and
they leave him like in that middle section.
He always gives leniency
That's
on
fine.
them. Yeah, like he's like.
But when it's like an able-bodied like 40-year-old dude, and they do the thing where they walk over the curb and they just pop the front two wheels up.
It's called curbing.
Now they have a term for it.
Yeah, curbing.
Yeah, that's like. At least it's not going to hit a car, but then like you have some people that are just like push it away from themselves and get in their car. It's like, what the fuck?
You're a douchebag. But yeah, like that.
And I've chased them one time. I chased one like the wind was whipping and this thing's blown through the fucking parking lot at like 10 mile an hour. And it's going towards like a luxury car. So I like end up sprinting alongside of it and like catching it before it hits the car. And like that's the end of the story. But that's what I wanted. I wanted some people to see me and cheer like an airplane just landed. But yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's
it's a scumball move to fucking just ditch your cart.
Anyway,
what was Jay? He just didn't like the guy.
Yeah, Jay didn't like him. He found him annoying, and Jay told me at the end of it, I was like, well, like I said, if you don't you don't have to worry about this, because if you put your cart away, then this guy's not going to bother you, and he also is like nowhere near here, so like don't worry about it. And he's like, if I saw this guy, I'd punch his lights
Beat
out.
the fuck out.
And I'm like, I'm sure you would try, but he always runs away. He's like a real good scurrier. And yeah,
you ever see the tough guy prankster? I don't know his name. He's not like tough, but like
I'm Tyrone.
No, it's a white dude.
No.
It's like a white, handsome dude with brown hair. He's like tall and like not jacked, but like shredded.
Sure.
And he goes into like Lowe's and Walmart, and he kind of fucks with the staff or whatever. And like what he's doing isn't illegal. Like the cops come and they're like,
he dresses up like he works there, and like starts smoking blunts and shit. I don't know
if he smokes, but yeah, he'll put on the uniform and fuck with them. And like the cops always get called, and the cops are like, look, this isn't illegal, but like, come
Stop
on, man.
doing it.
You're fucking, you can't be filming people and expect them not to get pissed.
Well, yeah, the guy that smokes the blunt
the security guards like stance up against him and be like, try and get tough with him, and he's like, let's go outside. Like he just does. He like most of those pranker dudes, they fucking run away. But this is one of the few where he's just like, let's do it. Like, yeah. I'll fight you right now.
There's one where this exact guy, I know who you're talking about now. He's like got a beard, and there's a fucking clean shaven, very like wide eyed Mexican guy that like walks in. And he goes like, you don't want to fuck with me, bro. And he goes like, no. He's like, I know you got a wife and kids. I'll kill your wife and kids. Like to his face. And then like some more banter happens, and this guy just pulls out a blunt and lights it up in the Walmart. And he's like, come on, let's like settle. Let's like squash the beef.
The blonde dude.
Yeah,
he's wild.
And he's like got like a beard and shit. And then like yeah, so like the Mexican guy just like is like looking at him. He's like, man, that's disrespectful. And he's like, you just told me you're gonna kill my wife and kids and family. Like, come on, let's hit this. He's like, let's go outside. He's like, okay. And then like he starts to walk outside, and the Mexican guy's just like, oh, like just still posturing, but like not doing anything. That guy's funny. That guy's funny as fuck. But what's the
not for me? It's like I find it entertaining, but I would never be able to. Like, I'm so non-confrontational. I wouldn't. If confrontation arises, like we can go there, but like I would never go into a store and just start like provoking security guards.
That sounds like fun.
Just like peeing on a horn. It's fun when you're like 13, but like
I always had this.
I'm just trying to get my shit and get out. I don't want to fucking bother anyone. I always feel like even when you have to ask a question, I'm like, I'm sorry for bothering you, but like, can you tell me where the Campbell's soup is? Like, I feel like a dick, but like. This guy's just like, hey, I work here. And they're like, no, you don't. It's just like, yeah, I do.
I mean, that sounds like
fun. Like bought a shirt on eBay, and he's like, no, I do.
I saw this prank, and I always wanted to try it just to see like how far I could get away with going. But like, I do feel like if you're in the wrong environment, you're gonna get like shot. But there's
the hood rat ones are wild. Well, I feel like we've talked about this recently.
Yeah, we did, but no, not that. There's this. It's like this white girl, if I'm not mistaken, or she might be like Asian or like half like a, but she's like a chick, and her prank was like going to Macy's, and there's like little hockey puck things that they put like as a security deterrent tag on like clothing, and you have to like when you pay for it, they put it in a magnet, it opens it up. So she just like swipes a handful of those and puts them in her purse and just runs out of the Macy's, and like security's like, whoa, what
just
the fuck?
The magnet things? Yeah,
not
like
she didn't like she didn't shoplift anything, but she just like books it out of there and then does it like 3 out of 4 of the security guards just laugh and are like, fuck it, like we don't care.
But they're like, not supposed to chase.
Yeah, the one that does eventually is just like, hey, like nobody said you stole anything, but like why is your shit like just they just got to the bottom of it. I don't know, it always looked like fun because like as a guy I probably would get chased, but I don't know, probably not.
To me. I'm not fast.
That sounds like fun to me.
No.
I want to do parkour.
I used to steal chicken patties in high school, and that would give me such bad anxiety.
The great chicken caper.
It was like, dude, I was pulling off a bank heist, and I would sit down on like pins and needles and be like, and then like 3 months in, I got a tap on the shoulder, and I was like, oh, the jig's up, boys.
Busted, bro.
I was keeping my lunch money to buy pot off of blank his name, Ryan Smallwood.
Nice. Sure.
Yeah, bleep his name out, but yeah. And then I might have told this on here. The lunch lady, she was cool with it. She bought my little fake lie, even though she knew I was bullshitting, and she let me go. She's like, if we catch you again, we're fucking gonna smack you.
We're topping your fingers off.
But she worked somehow in Ocean City before she was a lunch lady, and she knew who my grandpa was. And then we were having a yard sale in like 2009. And the lady comes, and he's like chummy with my grandparents, like knows both of them. And she tells them the story about me stealing lunch because she knew like that they were not that they were like rich, but that they were like
you could afford fucking lunch. Yeah.
And they were like, she was like, why is he stealing lunch or whatever?
And
she told them the story, and I got in like a huge fucking ration of shit because my grandma was giving me like $60 a week for lunch, and lunch was like $3. But I was being so cheap, I would keep all of it, and I would buy an eighth of weed for $60, and like that was a much better investment than a spicy. And the lunch portion they gave you for $3 was like, it wasn't shit. I was stealing like 3 chicken patties, and I was going for broke. I was getting an iced tea, a fry boat, loading up a fucking tray, putting the cheese whiz on everything. That was it. Just cheese on 50 cents.
Well, cheese on everything, but it's like once you get like the one cheese, they let you get like as much cheese as you want. So I would get like 6 cups of it, and then like divvy it out to the boys, and like that was like, all right, I gave my part. So
actually, when I was in school, I think it was after you graduated. It was like my sophomore year. I mean, my buddies Josh and Mike were like doing like a tag team thing. I think we did talk about this on here too, where they were just, one would stand there with a book bag and the other one would shuffle like 12 chicken patties in, and
that's legit, so funny.
They would legit feed a table. Like everyone's eating patties.
Everybody's breaking bread with the boys.
Wow, it was awesome.
You want patty?
It was all like middle class white kids that didn't need to do this either. Like none of us were poor.
That's
like,
actually
didn't even make sense,
bro.
Like,
that's like actually something I was reading about like a week or two ago about like why white collar crime. It's like when like why is it that like it's such a polarizing thing? Like most people in the middle, it's like if you make enough money and you're comfortable, you have no incentive to steal. So like, but then like when you're really poor or you're really rich, it's like it's like that's where the bulk of like theft comes from. And it's like the really rich is like even more petty usually than the really poor, because like poor people are like, like they might be like stealing
like cold cuts and a loaf of bread from Acme or whatever.
They steal shit like copper wire and shit too to like get drugs, you know. But like,
hell yeah.
But like like sometimes it's like more out of like even if that would be more of a need out of necessity, because it's like with withdrawal and whatnot. I would call that a necessity, even though it is, you know, a proclivity. But at the same time, it's like the white collar kids. It's like you can just buy whatever you're shoplifting. There's no need for it.
Yeah,
and it makes it like an extra.
None of us
layer.
were rich, so it wasn't like that. Other end of the spectrum,
no, like
you're
I'm
saying.
talking
We
like,
were in the area that shouldn't be stealing. We're in the middle class.
I'm talking about people I knew personally, like at Hofstra, that are like well off.
Yeah,
like I won't say who, but the one roommate that I told you about that lived in the Hamptons, he got busted stealing one of those football helmet cap. Like it's like a keg thing, but it's like a big pillar of beer, and it's like goes into a football helmet with a little faucet, and he got caught stealing one of those and got like fucked up by a security guard. And it was like, why you could buy one of those for $30 on Amazon? Like, why did you feel the need to steal? He's like, I just
crime
wanted
of opportunity. The same with the we talked about it. Those kids in Wawa that tried to steal my pizza off the shelf.
No, you didn't tell me about that.
I thought we talked about it. It was a few weeks ago. It was like late at night, drunk, probably 17-year-old rich white kids in Ocean City. I could hear them like planning out their heist, and like, so I'm doing a delivery order. The pizza was already ready; it was sitting on the shelf, and she was making like the milkshakes or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, this milkshakes will be out in a minute." Mm-hmm. She called. She's like, "All right, number 700 Italian hoagie." And there's 3 kids. The one kid walks over to get his hoagie, and they convene again or converge or whatever the fucking word is, and
both work.
They're like, "Oh, you ready to go?" or whatever, like acting like they're about to like leave. And the kid's like, "Yeah," and he walks over and acts like he's like acting it out like it's his pizza, like he's just like walking over there all weird.
This
and he's
is
like,
also
they're like, It wasn't the kid who got the hoagie; it was a different kid. It was like a divergence. It's like yo, when you get your hoagie, I'm gonna walk over.
You're the distraction.
Yeah,
I'm
like
the heat. You're the runner or whatever.
And as soon as he picked it up, I'm like, yo, that's my pizza. Like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, is it? My bad, bro. And I was like, yeah, like what the fuck? And they just like didn't say anything and just like left. And then I told the workers about it, and she was like, don't be fucking stealing my pizzas, like yelling at them out the fucking door.
Don't you be taking my pizzas.
There's the people at the Ocean City Wawa rule at night. They're fucking. The order's always ready. The chick doesn't fucking around. She was just like yelling at them, giving them some what for. So
hell yeah,
that was the story. But it was like rich shore house kids that like could afford the $7 for the pizza or whatever they cost, $9. I doubt they're very expensive. $10 at most for a Wawa.
There's like
pie.
$14 and it's like the supreme, like loaded with like the meats and the shit. Like
even 20. This kid could afford $20 for a pie at 1 a.m. But like he was just like drunk. And then the nerdy worker dude comes out and he's like, I just caught them peeing out back. I should call the police.
You should go pee on them. Dipshit.
Yeah, he like screamed. That was before they got food. He was like, yeah, before they came in, they were peeing on the wall out back. I screamed at him and told him I should call the cops, but I didn't.
You ever been caught peeing?
Once by Margate police, and it was this kid. I played football with him maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Me and him weren't tight by any means. This kid Jake Rando, and he was a summer cop in Margate, and it was like me and Jan peeing behind a dumpster in this apartment complex near Maynard's. And we had gone there like 10 times, and I'm sure 10 other drunk people had gone there 10 times, to the point where like someone probably called and it was like, yo, there's all these drunk assholes peeing by our fucking trash cans. Like, Maynard's fault. They literally have like 2 urinals and 2 porta potties for like 900 people.
Yeah, I was going to say that
never works. You spend more time waiting to pee than you do waiting for a drink, because you can't even get a drink either. Like,
I don't want to cut this off because I do want to hear about you getting peed.
It was nothing happened. He was just like, yo, come on, Jake, like, get the fuck out of here. He literally looked at me, knew who I was, and he was like, come on, bro. He cut me a huge break.
I went out on the docks behind Maynard's and peed off them one time and didn't get caught, but I did get caught at a college party peeing in some guy's bushes, and I was looking behind me because I thought if I was going to get snuck up on, it'd be from one direction. And I look up and there's this guy's face like on the other side of the bushes, like, but there's like a tree line and like a fence, so like it wasn't like hitting him. He just was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I just put my shit away and ran away. I wasn't even finished peeing. I just like ran.
I had like a heart attack when I got my shoulder tapped. I thought it was like Stu or Jan coming up to me. I turn around, it's 2 Margate cops, and I had like a weed pen on me or something. I was just like, I'm about to go to jail tonight. Like, fuck. And he was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm taking a leak, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't a dick about it. I was just like, yeah.
There's a line.
My bad. Like, I was caught red-handed, and he looked at my ID or whatever. And he's like, Seymour, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I report.
I didn't know if he was gonna like fucking tackle me and fucking throw me in cuffs, or like he was a gentleman though. So
that's good.
Shout out to Rando. I had something else, but I forget.
I got one. I ended up watching.
Oh, it was an old guy side of Robert Best Road yesterday. There's no shoulder. He's pulled off on the grass.
Peeing.
Dude, there's houses everywhere on both sides. He's not in a secluded area at all. He's not even in the tree line at all. He's standing right behind his car, just fucking rocking one, and there's cars going both sides. I was like, is that dude fucking peeing? And the car goes by, and it's like kids like looking out the window, like, what the fuck?
I saw,
not even hiding it. Like, usually people kind of like tuck in or whatever. He's just standing behind his car, just like rocking a fucking piss. Like, I get it. I've wanted to do that, but like, there's a Wawa about 0.8 miles away. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Do you know where it's 47 turns into 447? Out like on
kind of.
Okay, so it's like
the left to go towards Bayside.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're past it, and then it just turns into 347, like, or 447, whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, when I was on that
347,
when I was on that road one time with all the boys, there was a guy.
There's nothing out there.
It's like, so some guy just like pulled over and was like peeing on the side of the road. And I was like, how fucking funny would it be if I just like came back with the fucking siren and just pulled up and woo, woo,
game warden.
Just watch him like piss his pants. Yeah, like
that's the worst. Getting caught, you're just like trying to fucking futz your dick back in your pants.
I have like phantom limb syndrome with that shit because people piss me off in traffic, and I go for the PA system and it's not there anymore, and I'm like,
honestly, probably for the best.
No, not for the best. I missed that thing. That thing was awesome.
Taking it with you,
because
you know the guy who got it was probably like,
oh, what the hell?
Ripped it out immediately.
What the hell is this thing? What are we doing here, boys? It's not even.
Should have went all out. Got like a volunteer fireman light.
No, because once you get lights on that, once you get lights, you get in trouble.
I think the siren could get you in trouble.
No, absolutely, because you're discharging. You're not supposed to use it while you're in motion unless you're a police officer or fire.
Does the McDonald's drive-through count? I was in park.
I was technically in park. Yeah, I mean, they could discharging like a noise ordinance thing, like discharging a siren or whatever.
They'd probably butt fuck you.
They would, but like
you'd at least get a fine.
Dude, you remember like you telling me it was like, you are going to get shot. Stop doing that. I was telling someone the other day about like me drunk in the line at fucking Taco Bell with the PA system behind like gangbangers going, Whopper, no onions, and they're just like hanging out the window going like,
hey,
yeah, like, what the fuck, kid?
Fuck crazy.
Like, and then they're like, yo, there's some guy yelling behind. Like, you know, I was like, I wouldn't even like,
give me the chicken loggy.
I wouldn't even order anything. I would just pull in behind someone, start yelling a bunch of nonsense, and then drive away. Just drive away.
That would perturb me so much.
I know.
Like if I was working and I'm like, hey, I'm picking up for Steve, and I'm just waiting in line, and you come in screaming, I would be bugging out.
I'm sure people were bugging out. Like, I'm really happy I didn't get shot.
I don't think you would actually get shot.
Probably, I would. I've seen people get beat up for less. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'd say maybe you might get some fisticuffs. But I don't think someone's gonna pull a gun out. And
Jamie one time walked into a Waffle House that's connected to that exact Taco Bell.
Depends on where though. If you go to like the drive-through, like the KFC and AC, then you might get shot.
Yeah, there's a good chance. That Popeyes on Atlantic, you're getting a shot just for being
You might not get shot, but there will be guns brandished.
They had the
you might get one of these.
they locked down the block in front of Dave & Buster's the other night. I think someone got shot in the parking lot at Bass Pro.
Damn, dude.
That whole fucking town is going
a lot of it's been like that.
No, like all the migrants and shit. Like there's a shitload of migrants in Atlantic City right now that are like, you go up on the boardwalk. There was a dude trying to fucking sell someone a pack of Newports, and I had to be like, yo, pigeon, get the fuck out of here. And he like, it was like, I'm like, no. They're not interested. It was a bunch of white people coming from the races, and I'm like, they're not buying cigarettes, let alone
tax-free cigs.
They're not buying your fucking Newports, like, and
wrong demo. But
I know what the hustle is. So it was explained to me that these people get like a $4,000 gift card. Like where you end up, you turn yourself into immigration. Immigration puts you on a bus to wherever the fuck you're supposed to go. You show up in like Manhattan or DC or whatever.
They're trying to flip this gift card into cash.
And what they'll do is they'll just load up on like anything that's like taxable, because it's like EBT or whatever. It's like a subsidized tax thing. So it's like cigarettes, coffee, fucking like all prison shit. And then they'll just try and sell it to bums and panhandle and shit like that. But like, yeah, like it's like this. Like,
why don't they just spend the money? Are they trying to flip it into more money?
No. They're just they get cash. They can only spend it like EBT style and like on certain things. So it's like they just max it out.
Hookers,
they're just trying to get cash. Like they just want cash because it's like you
like get an apartment or something.
I don't fuck it, for whatever reason they just are. There's probably like still cartel members that have like, you know, they're owed money or something like that. So they're like so they're probably trying to flip it to make like quick cash. I don't know. It's a
whole different life, man.
It's a fucking wild thing. I've just been seeing so much about it lately, and I'm like, oh wait, I actually know this one. Like, yeah, I saw it the other day. I had to call some guy a pigeon in front of a family of like 9 white people. Like, and like, what do you?
I'm not knocking the hustle, but don't be.
I'm knocking that hustle because you're trying to intimidate people into fucking buying shit from you.
Don't be overly aggressive. Don't be an overly aggressive salesman. You know, you can tell within 2 seconds whether someone's going to buy something or not. Like we've been approached for hard drugs a bunch of times in the casino. Like hey,
absolutely.
I got Molly, crack, glass, fucking
whatever
dope.
You want, dog.
And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I just smoke weed. And they're like, I got weed too. And I'm like, I'm good, man. Thank you. I don't want your weed, dude. Yeah, like. But you would laugh at me before because like it was like this giant black dude comes up to us like, yo man, I got Molly or whatever, and I was just like, no thank you sir, and you were just like, you were like overly polite to, because he was being like pushy. He was kind of like walking towards us, and I was just like, no thank you, have a good night, and you were like, what the fuck was that? I don't know. I don't want to be mean to that guy.
I got desensitized to it because if you're actually looking for something, then they don't care how you treat them. But if you jam them up by being polite, sometimes they'll get more pushy and aggressive because you're costing them. It's like the fucking vials per hour or whatever. They want to make X amount each hour or like every like
you're just wasting their time.
And it's like it's not even like like don't be like you can be polite, but you just like it's like whenever it's like no not me, but like you were being nice, like they weren't doing anything that would.
I was just sounding like fucking
me
to Beaver.
Me.
No, thank you, sir. Have a great day. Stay blessed. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm that way now with panhandlers. I don't want to hear it. I don't even make eye contact. They walk towards you now. It's like Summers Point Wawa. And the one night it was like this light skinned black chick. The other day it was like a probably 60-year-old white dude, probably a boozer or a drugger or something. It's like they're always asking for bus information. Like, where's the bus stop? Does the bus run here?
I fucking ride the bus, you fucking
it's Ocean Heights and Route 9. I'm like, the bus runs up and down Route 9
all day long.
Every day. Like, right there, just stand there. Eventually, a bus will fucking come for you. And, like, she's like, man, some fucked up shit just went down. Like, can you happen to spare me a few dollars? And I'm just like, I'm delivering, in my head, I'm like, I'm delivering DoorDash. Like, no, I'm not the one. Like, no. I'm always just like, no. And they're like, then the girl was like, do you have a cigarette by any chance? I was like, also no. Like, and I'm very how I should have been with that overly aggressive drug dealer in Atlantic City. Like, I'm just like, I'm trying to end this interaction as quickly as possible. Like, I don't, for some reason, I just don't feel bad for them anymore. It's like, it's not some pity party thing. It's like, whatever fucked up situation a lot of these, not all, but a lot of these people are in, it's like they most likely brought it on themselves. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I don't feel bad for you. I'm not giving you money. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't like being accosted. Like, when I go to Philly or Atlantic City, you almost expect it, but now it's like, Summers Point, it's not like a rough area. It's like not somewhere, it's like, this is our little safe white people bubble down here. Like, dude, I don't think of it like in terms of that. Like, I get what
not
you mean.
Literally
white, but
I get what you mean. Where it's like
new for it to be here. In my entire life, I've never been panhandled in Summers Point or any of these areas. Like,
it's one of those, like, we're in an adjustment period, I think, of it, and it's not even like we're adjusting to, it's whatever the fuck's going on right now. Dude, it's all fucked up. It's all parts of like the system that are kind of like cracking, and this is what the trickle down is, and it's like. But
I don't think these people who are asking for money are sober people.
No, that's just it. They're getting pushed out of all the places that the migrants are being housed in right now. So there's a huge problem in New York right now where they're just taking people that are in like insane asylums, throwing them out on the street because they want to get the bucks for housing the migrants. So those people are now forced out of like where they have nowhere to go in New York, so they just send them elsewhere and they bring them down here.
Greyhound to Atlantic City, dude. End up in Summers Point.
Dude,
where's the bus?
No, I'm dead serious. Look into it. They're just dropping fucking homeless people off.
I've been accosted though by homeless people since I've turned like 21, started going to the city. Almost 90% of them are like asking for bus information for some reason. Like that's like always their opening line. Like either I'm trying to get a bus to see my family, or like. Some shit like it's always somehow bus related, and I'm like,
they don't even fucking bother with
Google it.
I guess I look like I'm just fucking like wired or something like that, or just like a bum myself, probably dressed the way I do. But they're always just like they cut right to the chase. And I just tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, just I don't care. I don't
literally say that, but I'm just like, no,
I do. I literally tell it like, look, like just don't. No, like I'm not doing. There was a guy that walked up to me, and then like he realized like as soon as he walked, like he just was like, yo man, and then went to the guy right behind me. Yo, man. And I'm like I was about to tell
a hairy incident with that in Raleigh where it was like late at night. You were hanging out with Casey or something, and I was just like walking around town by myself. I wasn't even drinking. Like I was just like smoking darts or something, just like kind of exploring. Mm-hmm. And I ended up on a dark street, and there's a bunch of homeless black dudes hanging out outside. And I walk by, and I'm just kind of, I had headphones in or something, just minding my business. And they start like yelling at me. And I make the mistake of like just like being like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I need $3 for cold beer." No, cold beer. And I was just like, "No, like I don't have any cash on me. Like, no, I'm not buying you a beer, man. Have a good night." And he's just like, "I need a fuck cold beer." Starts like getting like mad at me, like, and I'm just like, "All right, like have a good one." And I just fucking like, I was like $3 bills at the time. I'm like power walking, like huffing and puffing back towards the hotel, like. Thought this big fucking, it was like a big black dude, like a big fucking beefcake dude would have beat the fuck out of me. Like,
he looks like he's well fed. He doesn't need a fucking.
No, he wasn't fat. He was just like big, like prison big. Like you know what I mean.
Well,
like,
where we were hanging out was right next to where like they let people out of jail, so it probably would have gone down.
This
that way.
Guy would have fucking
made you as fucking woman.
Me.
You know what?
He'd be holding my pocket. I was terrified. That was the only time I've ever really been scared.
Well, it's funny that you observed this because I tried to get you to observe the funniest thing I've ever seen, which like every time I see a girl in a dress, I think of this moment. And you were busy with you were texting. This girl was walking down one of the sidewalks, like maybe like 50, 75 feet in front of us, and you were right next to me, like literally right next to me. We were both in mid-conversation. This was in Raleigh. We were walking to the hotel, and there was a chick that was like up, standing, waiting for the light to turn so she could cross the street, and a gust of wind blew, and her skirt went flying up, and everybody saw her underwear and her ass, and I was like, I've never seen that happen in real life. And you were just like, what? And I'm like, oh no, I thought we like witnessed like a 1 in a million thing.
Just some upskirting, some God's upskirt.
It was just like the most like rapid fire, like, oh my god.
Everyone's like nice. It wasn't even like, what?
It wasn't even like hot. It was just like, that's why you should fucking wear pants, bitch. Wear overalls, cunt.
There was 2 of those I missed. I must have missed that one. I forgot about that. But after the Phillies parade, I was like 14.
Some chick flashing.
Yeah, some chick flashed us, and like it was like I was in behind the driver's seat, and it was 2 of my friends' dumb heads that I was trying to like look around, like I didn't see it, or I was looking out the other window or something, and like I missed it.
I got it at the
Bullies.
Bullies.
She had a bra on. Like I thought it was like nips out, and I was devastated.
Right,
and then they're like, she had a bra on, I was like, it's like whatever, dude. I'll take that one on the chin. But
it wasn't
for like 10 minutes. 14-year-old me was like devastated. I was like, oh,
it wasn't.
And we saw chicks peeing behind track. Yeah, fuck off. You always steamroll this shit. Fuck you.
Wait, did you just start with I just saw a chick? No. I rolled my eyes because you started with
I don't care.
You started with I saw a chick in the bra.
Shut up.
And then you're like, I saw chicks peeing. Like, no, start with chicks peeing. What the hell?
No, that was it was at the parade, and it was like a bunch of hot chicks peeing behind semi trailers, like in that industrial part. And for some reason, that got me going. Like I was fired up. Yeah.
That would have been like the focal point for me. Like, dude,
well, no, it was talking about missing. I didn't miss that one. It was talking. I missed the skirt blow up.
Okay,
I missed the girl flashing us. But it reminded me that I also saw chicks fucking deep frying chicken behind a fucking.
I was like, dude, that's like a fucking miracle.
I
you
was
just
hard
started
as a rock.
like
14-year-old me, dude. Just
I don't know what it is about.
Now
chicks.
I would be like, ew.
No, did you know where we park the J lot, the flying J lot? No, like that is where like all the chicks pee after like the Phillies and Flyers games and shit like that.
You're like a dog sniffing around.
No, I must have been like 9 years old and we walked back there and there was just a chick standing up, not even like her pants were all the way down, peeing like a fucking dude, but like peeing so that like
all over herself.
No, like she was like
pro.
had her butt against the wall, so she's facing us. Her fucking pussy and everything's just like hanging out. She's hammered.
Your
she's got her legs
gonna explode.
And she's just like watching like everybody sees us and then like real quick just like. And scurries on like tight legs, like their knees together away, and I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know girls could do that. I didn't mean to roll my eyes. I just was like, that like when you're a little kid, that is like an unreal sensation. Seeing women pee. It's like
that was probably one of the first times I've seen chicks peeing in public. Like, this is like 11 a.m. I didn't know why. It's like they were drinking. I wasn't even really drinking yet. I don't think.
I can't say the
name.
They
offered me weed at this parade also.
Hell yeah.
Too. I was standing next to Timmy's mom, and like this was at the age where I was thinking about it. You know, I think I was a freshman. I was like, oh shit, like, and they were firing up fucking cannons next to me, and I had a shirt that said like champion. They're like, yo, I was staring at them. I'm smelling it for the first time. Oh shit, dude, it smells like my uncle's bathroom. Fucking oh shit. Like, you ever have that moment where it clicks? You're like, oh, this is all the people in my life that's
my friend Phil's mom. Yeah, it's like
that's what weed smells like. I always thought it just smelled like a weird fucking cat fart or something over there. Like, it's just this weird funky smell.
No, it's like I thought they just didn't vacuum at their house. It's like, well, probably no, but yeah.
But yeah, they're like, champion wants a hit, and I'm like, oh, do I do it? And Tim's mom was like, absolutely not. Like, she's like, no, he's good. He's fucking 13.
No, he needs to see your tits though.
Yeah.
Come on, whip him out.
Yeah, so I didn't smoke weed. I missed the tits, but I did see peeing. So that made my World Series experience.
There was, when I was in Colorado, I saw chicks peeing in the woods all the fucking time, and that would always just be like, I don't know what it is about. It's not
dirty.
It's
like,
exactly.
She's a bad girl.
It's not that it's like arousing. It's just there's something about it that's like more. It's more like morbid, like or something like that, where you're like, I shouldn't see this, but I am, and it's like something about that just makes me want to like go help her or something.
I'm gonna rescue her.
Come on, let Daddy
make the cover for her, but you're thinking about being a John McAfee.
You don't want to eat the lemonades now.
That's fuck. What's next on your topic list? Let's stop talking about chicks peeing for 20 minutes.
So, dignified AI girlfriends, or the
weird stuff,
or the Doddelson. Which do you want to talk about?
Definitely not AI girlfriends.
Okay, because
I've never heard of the other ones.
The Dodelson's the not UFO thing, but it's like about a time traveler.
I don't know if I want to talk about that one either.
No, it's interesting. It's like, it's not about like time traveling, like you're morbid. It's just it's this cool little interaction that happens. So there's this place in England called Dodlestonshire or something like that, and in the early 80s, the BBC gave out these computers that were like basically your word processor, like the equivalent of like a Mac word processor, or like a early like Windows 93 like office like setup where it's just word processing,
just like bare bones,
no programs, no anything. It's like you start in CDOS and then it's like you can make files from that, and that's about it. Very rudimentary, and it wasn't like connected to the internet or anything. So there's these people that they get one of these BBC computers and they have it in their house, and while they're not home, they come home and they notice that the screen is still on because they like left it plugged in or whatever, and there's a message that's in this like weird, like real archaic version of English that's like laden with like Latin and like colloquialisms that were like very like, this was the 80s. I'm talking like Shakespearean, like where they couldn't really like nail it down. So like they read the message and are like, we don't know what to make of this. So they get someone that like, one of the dudes goes to a university and he knows a guy that studies like language and history, and he's like, hey, what's this all about? And he's like, oh, like this is like something that I think would be like in the 1600s, but like, where did you find this? And then they bring the guy with them and they decide that like, oh, like, let's play along. Let's fucking see what this is all about. So they answer the message and are like, we don't know what you're saying. Like, could you please be more clear? Or like, who are you? What the hell's up? And the guy, like, they leave, come back, and there's a response. And the response is like, you know, a little more coherent, but it's like got like names and dates and shit. And it's like all like kind of factually not correct, but like close enough where it's like, okay.
Now, do you think this is real time traveling, or do you think it's like some hacker pranker kids or some?
The era of skepticism is wrapped up like very nicely, because it's very easy to say like, okay, somebody like these people clearly have like an intimacy with like history, or at least they like know somebody who is an actual historian who could theoretically like, oh, they got a computer, and it's like I could fuck with them or something. Like, there is plausible deniability, and that someone's just breaking into their house. And it's like it's like a Tuckahoe, like it's a very small community, and people like, you know, knew each other. Like, it was like an open door policy basically. So there is like, in theory, someone could go in there and start fucking with them.
Office prank.
Yeah. So, but like, you know, but there's like other like weird surreal shit that's happening. Like, they painted one of their walls, and these footprints showed up in the walls with 6 toes, and they painted over it again, and the footprints came through the new paint, and they were like, okay, that's weird enough.
That's like a haunted movie. Like, beginning.
Yeah.
Right,
and then like
there.
their furniture was stacked up and shit like that. But then that is like completely like it's related, but it's like independent of like, they're interacting and corresponding with this dude through their computer who's given them like facts and dates and not like names and like all this stuff that's like really specific to the town that they're in. And they're eventually like, okay, what year do you think you're in? Because he's like, oh, it's like 1519. And like, they're like, okay, describe like your situation. Like, and they end up like eliciting that it's like, yeah, he got all the facts right for the most part. He would have been speaking with a certain dialect that wasn't like on like perfect to it, but it's like, if this dude didn't have like formal education, it's theoretical that like he doesn't know like the broader world, so it's like all isolated to this thing. And then also like he would speak like kind of the way that like, you know, you speak English, but like a learned English, like, you know, like a common folk English, which might not be as well documented. So there is plausible deniability in that direction too, that if this phenomenon is going on is real.
Is this like the go-to for like time travel believers?
Well, not really. Like, so
not time travel, but I don't know what exactly you would call this,
dude,
like interdimensional fucking.
So it gets weirder, because they start talking with this guy, and they ask the guy in the past, what year are you from? And they say, we're from like 1983. He's like, oh, well, what about like 2109? Like, wait, what? And like, he's apparently been corresponding with someone from the year 2109 too. And then they're like, so we've been talking to you, but you've also been talking to these other people. Is there a way we can contact them? So they type a message to 2109
chat room.
And and it's like, apparently they've been corresponding with this dude from the 1500s, and now they've opened up a chat and are like, okay,
this chat. Yo, 21, so, what up, dog?
So this is
15,
so
what up, cuz?
Dude, class of 09, cuz. Yeah, so they
2012, baby.
They end up calling some expert on like both a linguistics expert, like another one from the university, and then this ufologist, and they bring both of these dudes in to do independent surveys of one another. And then there's also some institution that's like kind of like MUFON here over there, where it's like a paranormal society. So all 3 of these investigations are going on simultaneously, all come up with completely independent results of each other, but none of them really can say it's a prank or it's real. And that's kind of like, and the correspondence is interesting. You can like look it up. Like,
they give us any like
no predictions really,
nothing like that. No, but something to look out for.
Well, they just
in the next
they just
85 years or whatever the fuck.
They leave you on your favorite thing, which is a cliffhanger. But it is a cool cliffhanger. So the guy used the past 19 or the 1500s guy used an alias for one reason or another, and his name is like Thomas Lewell or something like that. And apparently he was feigning some ignorance to protect his anonymity during the correspondence, and then like his penmanship, because he wrote a handwritten note at one point too, which is kind of wild, because they're like, I don't even know how he would know how to use it's, because it's like it's English, but it's like written like the characters are like Gaelic or something. It's very weird. So like they're like, okay, we have like a good framework.
Gaelic school. It's like
so we have like it's like we have like a framework that this guy is like a little bit aware of things, and like he can write. So like, write us something. And the guy in the past agreed to write a book and leave it at this location. And the location has since changed hands so many times that part of the library is like a completely, like, they don't want to touch it for like historic reasons. So theoretically, this dude's work containing information about his correspondence with the people from the future and like what the 2109 people were telling him is all in this book written in cryptic Latin somewhere in this one university's like sealed basement. And like they're not gonna,
since 1983.
No, since like 1530. Like the 1500s guy wrote this book in Latin about interacting with the people from the 1980s and the 20s.
This is getting into like what's that fucking Leo movie? Inception.
Nah,
it's like wait, so he wrote it in 1530, and then in the real timeline, like Butterfly Effect, like it actually happened that there was a book.
No, they haven't been able to access the part of that library where that book would exist. So theoretically, the book is still out there. It just isn't discovered. Or if somebody has it, they don't know what to make of it because they don't have this missing link. It would just be gibberish in Latin because they didn't understand that there was like a coded way of this dude interacting with the people from the 80s. So he wrote it in Latin because he didn't want to get outed as a heretic, which is like actually like a pretty cool cover in my opinion because it's like.
But it's weird that like it's hard for me to wrap my brain around that. Like he wrote this in the 1500s and it actually exists in modern day 1983.
Yes.
Like, and it's like that weird timeline overlap where it's like, hey, I'm going to put this here, and then like now they're like, hey, there's been this book here since the 1500s. It's like that overlap right there is like confusing.
It's and then like
wait, what?
In theory, if like all this is accurate, then in 2109, whatever's in the contents of that book will help us like be on a more stable, even keel trajectory into 2109 because they weren't giving us like any predictions from the future. They're just
what stock should I buy? Dude?
It's like
what's
like
the next big thing? 21.
But no, it was real interesting because there's like I want to juxtapose it to one other thing. I've talked about it on here and I did it on my own podcast when I was doing it.
Big word, dude. Juxtapose.
But,
what does that mean?
Just like compare against, like use two things as a cite a comparison. But on the
learning corner of the Blacktooth podcast.
So I want to juxtapose this story with Communion. It was a book that was written by this dude named Whitley Schreiber, and it was made into a movie starring Christopher Walken. And it's about alien abduction. And the reason that I have the Doddelson written down here with those is because the Doddelson people only wrote one book, and it was just about the events. It was called The Vertical Plane, and it's literally they did the media tour for the book, and then that was it. If people ask them about it or people inquire, they don't actively go out and try and
they're not showcase this for money
exactly, and they're not like living off royalties or anything. They have regular jobs. They're all in their like 80s and stuff now, but like everybody that was involved with this case did not do it for any notoriety or fame. Whereas like the Communion guy who had a very vivid account of being harassed by aliens and getting abducted and having weird shit pulled out of his skin, like having metal like stuck in his skin under his like whatever the fuck, like a couple layers
epidermis.
of skin. Yeah, so like they were able to like pull magnetic and like radioactive shit out of him after his encounter. This dude went on to write like 50 more novels about alien and
Did
like
he just like put that in the skin.
Nah, it's like where it's like the skepticism has kind of become like, okay, no, this is just a crazy person. Where the Doddelson people, even though there is like so much ambiguity as to is it real, is it not real, because like they haven't found the book. 2109 hasn't done it. There hasn't been anything that's linked like that present interaction to the future or like any of like there's no predictions or anything. It's just kind of this weird wholesome interaction that you're witnessing in real time. But yeah, because there's like so much skepticism in that and them leaving
it's wholesome that they weren't asking for like insider information.
That's it too.
Like they're just fascinated to communicate. It's like
you should read the
immediately. Like, I'm like, how can I exploit this for wealth?
But you should read the transcript because they do pump them for information, but it's just more information that's like oh, I wish I would have thought of that instead of like when's my stock going on?
Yeah.
You know, like when's a good time to
retire on a beach?
Yeah. But no, that's the Doddelson incident. I thought that was a pretty cool one, and then Aaron Pizzi, I guess, was the other thing. All right, what else you got?
Nothing. We should probably take a break and plug our sponsors.
Yeah.
We got Stewart's Handyman Service, proud sponsor of the Blacktooth Podcast. Anything you need done to your home, cosmetic. What's the other word? Functional.
Practical.
I don't know construction terms, but he's good at what he does. Yeah. Give Stu a call. Tell him the Blacktooth Boys sent you. 609-338-9427. Give him a shout. Anything you need done. Great dude. Great price.
Handsome motherfucker too. He'll come over and come over there and make that place look nice for you.
Clean your pipes.
Well, sure. He's a plumber and a gigolo like me. All right,
he's a juggalo.
As always, yeah, he's a juggalo. Hatchet gang. Whoop whoop. All right, so Autumn, HRS Design and Promotion across Facebook, Instagram, and all other social medias. HRSpromote.com. Autumn is helping us promote Blacktooth. Have her help you promote everything that you're working on. And then, as always, CanMan, 609-425-3143, jscrock0 @gmail.com for all of your can cleaning, ass cleaning, pipes cleaning, gutters cleaning, dog cleaning, horse cleaning.
Power wash dogs.
Sure. Fuck them too.
Jeez, Tony, this dog's like a hooker.
Yeah, big shout out to Rush Order Tees too. Thank you guys so much for canceling my order the other day. That was awesome. I was trying to get this picture of it's gonna be far enough away. But it's this picture of Oscar the Grouch plowing Taylor Swift. They would have put that on a T-shirt for me.
I gotta get new Blacktooth gear because I got too fat for mine. That's why I don't get to wear mine. My hoodie's an XL and I am a 2 to 3.
I'm a tuna.
The topic I was thinking of was pigging out when I was in the bathroom.
What, pigging out on what?
This morning was Girl Scout cookies. Those little bitches got me for $12 outside of ShopRite.
Those little shits, man.
I didn't like $6 a box isn't like crazy, but I thought it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
And I had like no money in my wallet. I had all singles, so I'm just standing there counting out singles. Like, I would like a peanut butter and a Thin Mints, please. And they're like $12. In my head, I'm like, $12? What the fuck? And I literally just bought like a wad of fucking rolled up singles, fucking counted out, good to go. But I finished the box of peanut butter while I'm like washing the dishes this morning. I'm like, yeah, I'll start washing. The sink's running. I'm like, I'll start washing after these 2 cookies. Yeah, literally, dude. Just walking around the kitchen, just eating cookies. Like 9 a.m., dude. Yeah, literally. That's why I didn't finish my coffee. I just kept crunching on fucking peanut butter cookies.
Bro, they're addicting though. Like this Girl Scout.
So good.
There's a troop that comes into the bowling alley. I can't say who. I'm not gonna say who, but it's somebody that I bowl with. Every week has been bumming dollars off me and some of the other people we
just
bowl
to buy
around.
Girl Scout cookies.
Because like he'll show up with like $5 or like $4 and be like a few bucks short. Hey, can I get a buck? And I'm like, all right. It'll go get an entire box of Girl Scout cookies and eat it to the face over 3 games.
I was gonna say they probably crush at the bowling alley, dude.
So
bowlers can put down some cookies,
bro. There, it's like all beer and fucking fried food. It's like, I just need a little sweet treat to get home. That's really what the logic is. It's like they know their market.
I can't argue with it.
It's a good demographic to hit, dude. Like, so like I haven't bought like Girl Scout cookies outright in a while, but did you see Dollar General has knockoff Girl Scout cookies?
My mom, I was busting her chops last night because she was like, they have them at Dollar General. They're like the same thing. I'm like, that's like a super fat person thing. That is. Like, I know where to get the same cookies for a bargain.
I got a guy.
I'm like, they're the same cookies. She's like, same thing, different package.
Identical.
I taste tested them both.
I did a double blind study. It cost me $45. I have diabetes now. They're taking my foot. I have to send it to the Girl Scouts. Oh, fuck. They're a little
insider info.
They're a little
cookies.
They're a little cartel. They're those little fuckers.
I wonder how much they get to keep.
None. It's a non-profit. It was like the Boy Scouts with the popcorn fundraisers.
Where's the profit go to? Because those cookies probably cost $2, and then probably
less than like probably like 5 cents a box or something like that. But it's all packaging
China
and
cookies.
And yeah, it's like all packaging and fucking like it gets like I'd say probably a fraction of it goes back into the troop, but like it's like more than like 30 to 40% of it just goes like into somebody's pocket directly.
The
that's
CEO
like,
of Girl Scouts of America with
it's
a
like,
yacht.
Dude,
follow the money. This will be next week's subject.
Yeah, we could. I could do Cars for Kids next week too.
All the Boy Scout cookies money goes to like lawsuits about touchy scout behaviors.
And then filing. What is it? They found out like a lot of the donations. I forget what it was. It wasn't donations or something like that, but like a lot of their like charity or fundraising. One of them they found out like 50% of it was going towards like lobbyists that were like trying to get the Boy Scouts to let girls in, and then like when they found that out, they were like, "Whoa, we're not like letting our kids
buying your fucking cookies anymore."
They sell like popcorn. It's like not even like a noteworthy fundraiser, and there's like fucking popcorn sales went to like shit. So they're like, we're not gonna be doing that anymore."
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with girls being in Boy Scouts. It's kind of in the name, and it's not like there isn't an option.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Girl Scouts.
And the girls that don't play softball.
What's the argument though? Like the girls don't learn as much.
They got to pee standing up somehow.
The 3 chicks I did see peeing were former Girl Scouts. I ended up chatting with them.
Did you eat the brownie?
No, they gave me cookies though.
Nice.
I hear you, little fat fuck.
It would have been funny if those were the girls that were selling the Girl Scout cookies. They're just all peeing between a parked car. Cookie!
This is our marketing tactic.
Dude, I would have bought them out.
I'm going to sell to creeps.
Dude.
Just Joe. I'll take all of them. Part of me wanted to do that. I wanted to be like a big baller and be like, how much for all the cookies? There would have been no discount.
There's that guy.
I'll buy them all for $3 a pop, and then I just sell them out front.
what's the guy's name? Richard Crown or something like that. He's that dude that's like the rich
Dick
rich versus the really rich or whatever on TikTok and YouTube and shit. But he has one that's like, it was like the interaction. It starts with him, like he sets it up with like a rich douchebag being like, someone calling?
No, I'm just pulling out my notes. Sorry,
no,
I'm trying to be a dick.
It's Richard. It's like him. It's like, I'm rich, and it's like guy being an asshole, like someone at a farmer's market or whatever. But then like the second guy is like the really super rich guy, and he's like nice and polite and just direct.
I have seen this guy.
He's funny. He's not like the greatest, but he's entertaining. But he has one where it's like a Girl Scout, and it's like your normal 500 boxes in your tax write-off form, Mr. Crown. He's like, thanks, Sally, every time. And like it's just like, fuck off. Who's really buying that many fucking?
His videos after like 3 of them, like the shtick just gets very tired. Yeah, it's just like the rich versus the uber rich. Like, fuck off.
If you can criticize being rich, it's like I don't fucking know.
It's fucking gay.
It is gay.
Yeah, pigging out though. Pigged out the other day at the Cheese Board in Linwood.
What's
Give
that?
them a plug. It's like a sandwich shop in that like, I don't know. It's like Linwood Commons or something. It's that weird
like by Talbots and shit.
That wooden like strip mall thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's in there. Fire. Best sandwich I ever had in my life. And this is racist. I didn't think it was going to be great. It was a black dude with dreads making it. And I'm like, making an Italian sandwich. I'm like, I don't know. Best sandwich I ever had in my life. And he gave my son a cookie.
There you go.
Yeah.
He just flipped
I don't see color anymore.
He just flipped prejudice right on. Was it a black and white cookie? To show harmony between.
It was chocolate chip.
Works for me.
Close enough.
It was dark macadamia nut.
We cut our hands and shook like blood brothers. At the end.
You wanted HIV that bad. You could have just asked me.
Nah, he was great. Literally like one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. The chicken pesto. I've been there before.
Was it the chicken pesto?
It was. I've been there before. Had the sandwich several times.
Oh fuck.
That's right. Fire. So if you're if you got a hankering for a good sandwich, check out the Cheese Board in Linwood. Very good.
Okay, we tried to do this a couple of like 20 episodes ago or something like that. But if you, let's say like contextually the same thing you just said, you're pigging out. Like you're unapologetically, I'm getting
fat.
I'm dropping whatever it costs, and I want it to be like last meal tier status. Like this is what I'm gonna pig out on because I'm going on a diet tomorrow or whatever. You got like
the last fat dude hurrah.
However many bucks you want to spend. Like
money's not a factor.
Exactly. So like what are we doing here? Like first off, like what would you gravitate towards food? Like,
are we talking fast food or?
It could be like I'm gonna say like not like
probably Taco Bell, a bunch of cheesy gordita crunches with some Baja Blasts, or like leaning towards like Five Guys. Big meal at Five Guys is pretty good. Or I don't know. I'm not thinking anything like high class. Like I'm not going to like Stephen Cookies and getting like a fine pasta dish. Like it's gonna be like
we're getting something dirty.
Cheesesteak, cheeseburger, or some tacos. A wet burrito from Tacos El Tío.
Ooh, that's a good
Tacos El Típico.
I was gonna say
they're fire too. The guy when I went in there last time, he's like, it was like the owner. He's like, do you like the food? I'm like, it was like this Mexican dude. I'm just like,
fuck you.
I was like, yeah, it's excellent. Like I came up with some doofy fucking answer. I was like, excellent. We eat here twice a month. Fucking, I drive over from Tucko. It's a 20-minute drive. I love your establishment. Like I really fucking
hammed it up.
Pumped his fucking grease his wheels. But
good for him.
He's like, oh, thank you very much, sir. Have a good night.
I don't speak English.
Love it there. That wet burritos is just fucking.
I would go Tio Tacos. Or Tacos El Tío, the one in...
They're fire.
So they got those...
English Creek or whatever.
Well, no, the one that just opened by the ShopRite in Marmora.
That's Las Olas.
Las Olas, excuse me. Yeah, that place.
They're pretty good too.
We got those whatever. It's like it's a steak taco that they deep fry the taco with the meat in it, and it's like
chimichanga.
It's super fucking tasty. So Jay and I will pig out on that shit.
I'm gonna try that. That sounds good,
dude. It's unreal, and they come in like only quantities of 3 because I think that's just the way they make them. But it's like dude, your heart hurts after.
We got Ocean View sushi last night. I love
really good sushi.
It's fire. I love ordering from there though. She just like makes you repeat
she yells at you.
She doesn't like yell. She's funny. She's great.
She rules. Yeah, her and the
Lonely Angel roll, kamikaze roll. I think it's funny they have a roll called the kamikaze.
They do. Yeah, that's their like fucking that's their culture.
She's the best. How many chopsticks you want? Give me 20 minutes. And we got pork dumplings, and when she repeat the order like they do like twice to make sure it's right, then she started referring it to it in like her language. I think she's Japanese or whatever the fuck Asian she is. She's like, you want a pokashikoba? I'm like, I think that's dumplings. I just didn't even correct her. I'm like, yeah, I want a pork shikoboka. But yeah, they're fucking good. This is the Fat Tooth Podcast.
I'm with it, man.
Local eateries,
dude. So one of the places we went to, that I always talk like, if people are interested in trying Korean barbecue, you got to go to a big city, but like you're someone that I think me and you could probably go there and we would fuck it up correctly. Like go and just like eat the way that it's just designed to be.
The title or the name, I'm not super interested because I'm not a huge barbecue guy.
It's not like barbecue.
Korean
and it's not
ribs.
like no, it's like not like either of those things. It's just like so the reason they call it barbecue is because you go in and it's like you're sitting around this big iron. It's like a dome thing that's like made out of cast iron. They turn that on and then they ask you what.
Throw dabs in it.
Yeah, dude, that was kind of my idea. Get some cannonball. No, turn the hood vent off. But no, they do. They like ask you pork, chicken, beef. Like what do you
Korean
want?
Hibachi.
Yeah, and they come out. They just put strips of whatever the meat you select on there is, and as long as you only get the first round or 2 rounds, and you just pay for everything up front, they won't extra charge you, but they'll buy some of it back from you or charge like it's
sell it to someone else,
dude. It's because they use it for takeout. Like it's fucked up. It's like
weird,
but as long as you're going there and getting it, you get it.
Playing
like,
Monopoly with
dude,
food.
Exactly.
200 Pascal. I'm taking 2 of this.
But it's like
strips of steak back.
But yeah, it's like it's unconventional. But like after everything is said and done, dude, you get so much food and like you are just like constantly like it's never. I'm just eating chicken and then it's the rice portion or it's like everything is like it's such a flurry of like they bring you out vegetables and then there's soup and then there's like they have like 1 round of meat and then the other meat takes longer. So as they're pulling that off, they're putting something else on and then like they have another round of rice and then like they have these like cookies that you eat, not fortune cookies. They're like these little like pastry things. They're like it's a whole experience. Like you got to go try it like at least once. But it's like if you're gonna pig out, like I would gladly go pig out.
There's some fancy joint in Philly where you do that, but it's not Asian. It's just like
a barbecue place or something.
It's like not barbecue. It's like fine dining, but they have like it's like $90 to get in or something. But like apparently it's super worth it. Like they just roll around with like fresh trays of like exquisite meat.
Hell yeah.
Some shit. I don't know. I've never been. I forget who was talking about it. Yeah. So
yeah.
Pigging out. What's your go-to?
Well,
your last day before the big diet.
Big day before the diet. I'd probably go
McDonald's on a plate.
I don't know about that.
I remember you talking about like you needing to get your bulk in or something. You were dieting at the time. You're like, I'm going to McDonald's. This is my cheat day. I'm getting 2 McChickens and a McDouble. That's my big meal of the week.
McDouble, McChicken.
Eat it on a plate. McGangbang, dude.
Yeah, 6 nuggets, small fry, no soda, and that's it. Yeah.
No soda.
No soda.
Wash it down with a Seltzy.
Nah, I wash it down
get that
water.
crisp.
Sometimes milk.
Sprite.
Sometimes milk.
It's another pigging out topic, but I don't enjoy a meal unless I have some type of like carbonated sweet beverage.
I can't.
Like a Diet Coke or a fucking seltzer or something.
I can't go back to it. Like honestly, I have coffee with breakfast, but then it's like water all
I don't
day.
like eating with coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
You like coffee on its own, like coffee, like a stiff coffee? Oh, okay.
Coffee tastes weird when you have like the flavors of food in your mouth. It makes coffee taste worse.
How were you introduced to coffee familially? Like who drank coffee in your family and who was the first person you drank coffee? Like how were you introduced to it? Like, drinking it yourself, I mean.
I was big into Monster Energies, and my mom was like, I'm not fucking buying you these $4 Mega Monsters before 8th grade every day.
Oh, really?
And I was into the caffeination because I had a rough life. I was a tired man in 8th grade.
Yeah.
That's when I was just like, this is all bullshit. Like, once school kind of gets hard, it's just like, fuck this.
I got to do this every day. Fuck this shit.
So in 8th grade, I was like slugging back a big mug of coffee, and then I would be like jittering in fucking homeroom.
Nice.
But my mom drank coffee, and my grandmom drank instant coffee, where that shit you just pour into hot water, and like, no, it was like Maxwell House.
Oh, okay.
Like the powder shit that you just pour into warm water and stir up. She liked instant coffee. But no like familial introduction. It was just like me being like, I want caffeine, and I'm not getting these monsters anymore. So.
Well, that's
my caffeine addiction definitely started with Monster.
That's like it's weird you say that because there's so many people I know that are like I have like you started 8th grade. You said like I had people that were like maybe like, I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. They were like a few years behind me that are like I cannot function unless I have 2 of these before school a day. And I'm like, yeah, that's called an addiction. Like that's not.
I've came and
healthy.
gone with it. I was not drinking caffeine at all, and then started dating Tina, and she likes coffee, and it was just like, when we're going to Starbucks, I guess I'll get something, like, you know, one of those things. Same with nicotine. Just like, she was trying to quit cigs or whatever, and her sister's like, here, try this vape. And I was like, this tastes like...
This is delicious.
This tastes like a banana. And then, like,
it makes me feel...
I'm addicted to nicotine
It makes me feel all tingly.
Yeah, like, it's literally, yeah.
The family with me, because coffee has always been around in my family. Like, no matter how young or old I, like, it was always present, and I could always have it if I asked. But I think I tried it.
7.
I think I tried it when I was like 5 or something.
First impression, not great. I thought it tastes like dog shit. I hated it.
I really liked it.
My mom used to get like coffee flavored treats, like chocolate or ice cream, because she knew I wouldn't eat it.
Nice.
Even still, like within the last week, I was over there kind of fishing around, trying to pig out late at night. She's sitting on the couch.
Hitting the peach.
I'm looking for...
You sent me the picture. You sent me the pear. You sent me a picture of that. That is fucking hilarious.
She still had it. It was like clear.
It is clear. It's like
I told her the story too. It's funny. But she used to always have ice cream sandwiches in there. And like even in the middle of the day at work, I'd stop by and I'd be like, I'll have a nice ice cream sandwich at 1 p.m. I go in there the other night. There's nothing, but there's coffee flavored. It was like mocha chocolate ice cream. I'm like, what is this fucking bullshit? Coffee ice cream. She's like, you like coffee now? And I'm like, I don't like it in my ice cream. Like,
I keep my sweets and my coffee independent.
I don't even necessarily love coffee. It's more of the effect that I'm still after. It is an acquired taste. I do like a bitter espresso and shit like that, but I have to have creamer in it. I'm not just drinking like black coffee.
Oh, that was me. I was black. Like all fucking...
I know you're supposed to drink espresso like just black, but I'm like, let me throw a little cream in here.
Well, like when I was, like I said, a little kid, like I always had access to it. So like when I was 5, I just took like a big gulp of it, and I didn't dislike the taste. I didn't like that it was hot. I didn't like hot beverages as a kid. I didn't like cocoa. I was like, and I
used to love at the Wawa. They had the caramel. It wasn't espresso, but it was like a caramel steamer or something.
Yeah, like they
my mom would get like coffee, and I'd be like, I'm getting this caramel.
Oh, the Frappuccino thing out of the big box machine that you hit the button.
It was non-caffeinated. It was just called like a caramel steamer. It was just like a hot chocolate drink. Kind of. And I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm drinking my cool fucking grown-up cup.
I hated the Wawa hot chocolate. Like I don't like hot chocolate. That's like one of those weird. Like my mom had Ovaltine a lot as a kid, and the taste of anything that's like that fake chocolate syrup,
Nesquik powder,
dude. And I just cannot. I can't.
Hot chocolate's one of those ones where before you drink it, you're like, hell yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And afterwards, you're just burping. You're like,
and you got heartburn, and your fucking mouth's all burnt.
Just
to
a
shit.
fucking cup of warm sugar,
and your mouth is dry now because
you got that weird film.
Yeah, you're like, they something. God forbid they put like a cherry on it or something.
Tons of marshmallows. And melt into it.
And then you're just trying to digest that and not shit yourself for like 3. Yeah, like dude.
But when it's cold, you're like, this is going to be great.
But that's just it. It's like even like that hankering where I'm like if
you just go to coffee.
Someone orders like they do this thing at Harrah's, which is like they call it the I don't know. They order it a special way, but it's like a hot chocolate where they dress it up. It's got like caramel on top and like whipped cream and a cherry and like the whole 9 yards.
Sounds gay.
It's very gay, but it's like all the old men like it, and it's like it gives them a little pep in their step. So they get this like hot chocolate, and it's like I see it, and I'm like, that looks good, and then immediately as soon as I say that, I'm like, I don't want anything to do. I don't even want to look at that thing right now because it's just giving me indigestion looking at it, and I would rather have coffee. Like you said, I just gravitate towards coffee.
You're a big guy.
Big
man.
Well, that's why I'm short.
Drinking coffee.
So I'm so short because I started drinking coffee at 5.
It was the same.
My growth plates.
Like you see adults drinking, and you're like, this has to be good, and you take a sip of coffee, and you're like, I was like, this is
I felt
terrible.
That's how I felt about beer. Actually,
that's
beer.
That was where I was going to juxtapose.
We'll transition.
I didn't transition yet.
It's still hanging. Well, I get the angle grind.
But I think I had tried beer a few times, and my mom let us have like those Mike's Hard fruity drinks a few times, and we'd be like, oh, I'm drunk after like half of one. But
no alcohol.
8th grade, Zach's mom and my grandmom let us try beer. So we each like pick one out. I think Zach got a fucking Bud Light. He's gay, and I got a fucking Budweiser.
Manly.
And we were standing out by the pool. Like they let us have our own little bromant outside. Like, oh, we're crushing beers, hanging by the pool, and I was like blown away by how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because I had like fruity beers and like maybe tried a sip of Coors Light, but I went right to like heavy Bud, and like even compared to like a Coors Light or a Busch Light, that shit tasted like apple juice compared to like Budweiser, like a heavy beer. I was astonished at how bad it was, to the point where like halfway through I was like, can I pick a different one? And like they're like, yeah, I guess, you fucking pussy. And like I got like a Bud Light or something, and it was, even then I was like, this is not good. Like we each had it, and it was just like, I didn't enjoy that at all. Then I got into Bacardi and got fucking blacked out, and I'm like, oh, this is fun.
No, this is 0 to 60 right here. That's where it's at. Yeah. Once you find hard liquor,
beer, like I think it was,
you're killing time at that point.
Me and Zach, it was like the big heist, like a chicken patty level heist, and there was some big family party at my grandparents', and there was a cooler full of like beer that was probably just gonna get discarded. Like it had been sitting in the garage in like the melted ice water for like days, and we're like, we're gonna steal some beers, and we both just ended up having to pee a lot. Like, we stole like probably about 4 beers each, and like we were both really annoyed because we just had to pee a lot and had to hide the evidence. We threw them in the woods. My grandpa found them a few months later and was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like he knew what we were up to, but he didn't break my balls too hard. But we were so annoyed that like we went through all this trouble, steal this booze and chug it, and it tastes like shit, and we just got pissed, and like we weren't fucked up at all. We each drank like 4 Coors Lights, and we were like blown away that we weren't hammered. We're like, what the fuck? How many of these do you have to drink? Like, what the fuck?
It's the
hard liquor is the way to go.
The sad realization too that like when you realize like after a certain point in life, you're like, if you want to drink beer to get drunk, you turn into like kind of a day project. You're kind of like a gross person, if like not like gross, but like you know what I mean. Like it's like you drink like, it's
a commitment. You're gonna have to pee a lot.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pee a lot. You're bloated.
For 6 hours.
You're going to eat something at some point, and you're drinking something like 1,600 calories worth of
you're
liquid
just drinking
bread.
A loaf of bread.
Yeah, like it's and you're just fat. Like there's no fun to it. And
and beer drunk is fun, but you definitely just feel like bloated and burpy the whole time.
The whole fucking time. Yeah,
you feel like heavy and like buoyant.
Like the Michelin Man. Like you got like some kind of weird fucking like equilibrium problem or something.
Yeah.
What you do?
Beers are fun though if you're drinking liquor and you're just kind of using them to coast.
Yeah,
in between like the bottle getting passed around. Like it's just like. But just solely beer alone, then you're hitting the pear late at night because you're not drunk enough.
I just need to get to that next
your
level.
Mom's Arbor Mist.
Well, I was gonna say, you know how like over here we have like a lot of stigma associated with drinking underage. This is a fun segue into something completely. I didn't even put this on the list. This is a weird thought that I've had kicking around in my head for like 2 years now. You know, I doubt you've seen the movie, but have you heard of or seen the movie Raw? Is that? So the movie is unrelated to the sensation, I feel, but the movie is about a family of vegans in France. It's a French film, like a foreign film that was
sounds gay,
very very gay. But they're like these girls. The one sister is off at school, and then the other one graduates high school and decides to go to the same school her older sister goes to, and they're staunchly vegan. Like the big emphasis on that they're vegan. They go to the school and it turns out like a bunch of the initiation processes, because like you're like much like a sorority or a frat or whatever, it's just the whole class. It's like they all bond and they're at this like animal biology like college or something like that, so they all have lab coats, and then throughout the movie the lab coats get like covered in blood and stuff like that, but like not like they paint them to look like they're covered in blood and like, you know, colorful and tie-dye and shit like that. This chick, for whatever reason, the point of it is that like her way of like expressing herself instead of like through the coat or whatever is figuring out that she likes meat and she's a cannibal, and that's the point of the movie. But
that's a twist.
Yeah, so I watched this movie and it's like so not that, like it's like that sounds like more interesting than it actually is, but it's just like about like families and kind of like what you're like, you know, like the Tony part where Tony's like, where's my fucking, you know, like where's my story arc or whatever.
That's Chrissy.
Or yeah, like where he's like
arc, Polly.
Yeah, like where he's like supposed to, like he's contextualizing that like some of the things that I've done in life aren't necessarily like they're what led me up to like what I'm doing, but I don't necessarily know if like what I'm doing I believe in. And like now, like Chrissy has like that fork in the road where he could like write or like try to be an actor, but like he doesn't want to do it because it's like giving into his emotions. But then when he does give into his emotions, he like flies off the handle and becomes like an irrational like person that is conducive to him being a gangster. So it's like he's torn. Like there's never that point in this movie where it's that like vivid. It's just like the chick figures out like, okay, my parents gave these weird.
Stumbles upon a chicken nugget and fucking.
The point, the initiation thing is like they have to eat meat. They have to eat raw meat because they're in a biology college or something like that. So they like slaughter an animal, and then like part of the initiation is they have
frog and
Mr.
Hawksworth's class.
Exactly. So like it's something like that. But anyway, the whole thing, it's like it got this like real weird thing about like, do I believe in what my family like instilled in me? Do I like believe any of this? And I got like real fucking like bummed for a while because I'm like, thinking about like all the little things that they had in Europe that it's like we just don't have access to here. But it's not like we had our own set of, you know, rules and standards for development. Like you drive at 16, you know, you go to the 8th grade formal with your girlfriend at the time, or you find a girl and you got like, there's like certain like, you know, obviously like checkpoints, like things that you're as a kid, you grow and you develop into, but it's just like a little bit slightly different over in Europe. And like, while I was over there, I'm like, oh yeah, they just give kids like beer at like 5.
That's different.
And it's like
it's the same in like Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's a European. It's like they're all Germans and fucking like Italians and stuff like that.
Like Ireland, if you can reach the bar, like
yep, Mexico, same with that. But it's like it's just this one like thing where it's like I didn't think I missed out on that, but it's like we had to be so private about like drinking, and like our parents put so much emphasis on us not being drunks and like not being, because it's like not necessarily drinking leads to bad things, but if you drink you're rebelling, and if you rebel that could put you down a wrong path at such a tender, you know, sensitive age. And I get the philosophy of it, but it's just like it's like I feel like we missed out on that, like where it couldn't have been stigmatized. We could have had probably like better.
I think that made it more fun.
It did make it more fun, and it's like if we had that like adjustment, we might be like a little bit less weird with like eating and other things, because now we're not stigmatized with that. There's no, if you want to drink, you can drink. If you want to eat, you can eat. There's no like, you know, you got to be this, you got to fit into this paradigm, or like when
it's like this,
you're gonna get in trouble. Like, yeah.
When it's the like illusion of scarcity, where it's like beer's illegal, we got to go jump through all these hoops, and it like makes you more prone to like pigging out.
Yeah,
like it's like that.
But I agree. It is more fun that way too. Like when you have to
like
go through more
kids running from the Linwood cops a few weeks ago. I thought it was gonna get shot.
There's like a ritual to breaking the law or something like, and I think the ritual is more fun often than the actual substance or whatever. So I think that has
it makes it more exciting. But at the time, like I remember it not like when I was in high school, I didn't find it fun. I used to be bugging out at like house parties because I'm like in Ocean City, or like the cops are like definitely coming, like you know, like that New Year's party at Eddie Hare's house. Fucking
rest in peace, Ed.
You gave me like a fucking eighth for like $7. You're like, how's that for a $7 sack, cocksucker? I was like, I love you. I thought you were the coolest guy ever. You had a girlfriend and a green jacket. Little
did you know how much of a bum I would do. This kid's college educated.
Meeting you that night, I never thought we'd like become buds or anything like that.
I wish we did.
Like, save me 2 hours a week.
I don't have to clean up for nobody.
It's just weird how you cross paths with like people and then become buds with them like 10 years later or whatever the fuck.
Can shout out Giglio. Shout out Joe Giglio, the Ocean View Wawa. He's the manager there. I went to high school with him, and he's part of the reason that all of this exists is because me and him took TV media together, and I had an interesting fascination with cameras and fucking recording equipment and whatnot. I ended up running into him the other day, and we had a nice conversation about how he's at work and he's stressed, and he's like, I know you're about to go back into it, and like you're probably fucking bugging out on what you're gonna do. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you know, but like at the end of the day, like it's kind of weird that like we were like two of the ones that like out of not necessity, he did more than me, but like we both worked, and like somehow we're like not on top, but we don't have too much to worry about. And there's like people that are far more like behind the 8 ball than us. And it's like, how did that like we should be like more like proud of ourselves, but we're just like I don't know. It's like it's very self-deprecating.
Something like demeaning about being in this like
retail
level job, but like you are like a manager and you do make good coin, but it's like,
and there is,
I mean,
there's
like
elements
the same
of success.
aspect as like being a trash man, like even the full-time guys, where it's like, I have a city job, a pension, benefits, the whole nine, career. But you're like, there's still this weird, like you beat yourself up because you're like, I'm a fucking trash.
I smell like fucking French fries.
Not that Wawa's on that level, but it's like, even as like a gig worker, it's just like I'm doing fine, but it's just like still you feel weird about being like, not that a Wawa worker would feel ashamed to tell someone, but like definitely as a DoorDasher to be like, oh, I deliver for DoorDash. It's like this weird.
It's more just that it's like he's like, we shouldn't be as ashamed as like saying it's like we do work like it's like we do have our shit together. There's people that we went to high school with that are like dead or in prison right now for like fucking drugs and like all sorts of other fucking dumb fuck shit. And it's like
not like the glamorous path, but it's like,
well, and this kind of like I know you were just breaking my balls, but like it does kind of like lead me into the dignified AI thing. Like, cause
shout out to Gigs though. I go in there for deliveries during the day, and he's one of the few restaurant workers that like greets me with a smile and
always
like is like dude. Nice to me. Like a lot of Wawa is pretty good. I'm buds with a lot of the people there because I'm in there a lot, but there are Wawas and other establishments that are just like annoyed by my presence. I mean, I get it. I am making them do more work for the same pay. Like it's like, I would hate fucking DoorDashers too. Like I get it, but every time I go in there, he's like, hey, what's going on, man? Who you got? Like he like, normally I have to stand there and like wait and like try and get their attention. He's just like, yo, who you got, man? Like, just he's good to go. He's fucking solid. So I appreciate that.
No, I do too.
It makes my job easier.
I know I'm always talking his fucking ear off when I go in there, but I see him like once every 2 weeks. I'm just like, I got so much to tell you, and he's like, I do too. But like, I gotta fucking put these Fritos away. Like,
yeah, me and him keep it brief. It's just like, hey, how you doing, man? And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And then like we just get the order. Well, because sometimes we gotta find stuff like in the store and like. We collab. He gets the fucking chips. I get ice cream.
Ciphering. Like, let me down a beat, Gigs.
We call fucking AJ Dybert over. Yeah. Start a fucking circle. Gigs used to blow my shit back in the day. He used
to blow you back in the day?
No, I was a Lil Wayne fan. And he, like, I agree with him now.
Free Weezy.
I'm not as big of a Wayne fanboy. I kind of think he stinks. But he was back in like 2010. He was on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever, just like railing it. Like when Lil Wayne was at his peak, he was just like, "This guy stinks." Yeah. And I was like 15, like, "No, Lil Wayne's to go.
He's the best."
Yeah, literally. And then he would have like
stop not liking what I like
arguments why, and I'd be like, "That's fair." Like, but now looking back, he was right. Lil Wayne fucking
he blows.
He's got some classics, but like. Fuck Lil Wayne.
Well, what I was gonna say,
Chef's gonna hate that. He's a huge Lil Wayne fan.
Just like a way of tying it back together. And it's like I don't want to be too like fucking egregious with our time or anything because I see he's moving. But
yeah, we got a few minutes.
All right, so like one of the things that you just touched on though is that like there is this thing societally right now where everybody puts a lot of emphasis on like being lavish, being.
Keeping up with the Joneses. It's always existed.
Well, but like now it's like more. It's more in your face, and it's like I think that what I'm getting at is like that you always.
You want an AI girlfriend?
No, we are always keeping up with this. Like we were always competing with our fucking phones. We were always competing with like an ideal.
Everyone's posting their highlight reel.
Yeah, it's like you have an idealized version of yourself that you post online, just like everybody else is posting their idealized version of themselves and whatnot.
Brad Paisley has a song about it called "I'm So Much Cooler Online."
So. This new dignified AI thing has made me so happy because it was originally software that goes through the metadata of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and it takes the fucking the photos that you post on there where you heavily filter it. It like I think at a metadata level goes in and unfilterizes the photos so that it shows you as yourself without like filters and makeup and stuff like that. And apparently. It caused a few people to like they posted a photo and then because the software was running on their shit, it like booted them out of their thing and it wouldn't recognize their facial ID anymore because they weren't wearing makeup and it wasn't like the photo that they had.
Shit.
So it started as like a subtle troll like that, and then someone was like, "Hey, wait a minute! Like use that software to like put clothes on like Instagram thoughts." So dignified AI is born where it scours the internet for Twitter and Insta and
for like
Facebook,
thirst trap pictures
and puts clothes on them.
Librarian outfits.
No, not even like it just puts like more modest clothing, and it's a little racist. It slims down the face and makes the booty a little bit more petite and whatnot. But it's very funny because there's a lot of seething about it, which it's like, okay, you got mad about everybody using AI to make Taylor Swift naked. Now they're using AI to do the opposite. Which do you fucking want?
Some of those Taylor Swift pictures
are fucking hilarious.
Pretty hot.
Nah, I mean not hot.
She had a nice rump.
Well, I mean it's a.
I know it's a computer, but I'm like, damn, Taylor.
Well, it's just
it's the one where she's in the crowd and it says like
all of them.
Fuck me on her butt cheeks.
Yeah, Honk FM too.
Oh, damn, dude.
She's got the one where she's fucking
Taylor
Oscar the
kind of thick.
She does.
That robot knows what it's doing.
Yeah, man. Well, it also this is bad. This is bad. But the other one that it was doing was finding white women posting pictures with their biracial children and making the children white.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's not good, but it's funny. It's a lot.
Grandparents everywhere cheering.
Dude, it's hilarious. Well, it's fucking hilarious because like all the people that are freaking out about it on social media are like, why do they need to wear more clothes? It's like, well, we gave you the right to take off as much as you want. We just want to look at something a little bit more, wholesome. And that apparently it's like now the equivalent of telling someone to smile. Like, yeah, we can't win with you guys. Like, it's purely a troll to illustrate.
Like it's nothing to get outraged on.
Oh, dude, it's a troll to illustrate hypocrisy and also the like how knee jerk the reaction to shit is. Because at the end of the day, it's not like they're using this for anything malicious. All they're doing is using your photos and making them more like okay, so like
it's not like they're making you look more slutty.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like they're making you look more not presentable, but more.
Dare I say appealing? Like, I mean, that's not a
leave a little the imagination. Puts.
Well, that's okay. So
that's the patriarchy.
So they don't like the argument is like that they should be able to dress however they want. You're right, but once you put your image out there, people are allowed to have opinion. Like if we put this out here and someone doesn't like what I'm saying, there's a comment. Our fans, we call them listeners.
Yeah. Hope your fucking podcast gets more than fucking 78 subs.
We could stop on this. What the fuck was that all about? Let's talk about
finish
that.
Your thought.
No, just I find it funny that like you can give people what the means to do whatever they want to present themselves, and then the second it becomes a one-way street, it's like all of a sudden everybody else is the problem. Not like. You can we put ourselves out here. If somebody wanted to take our information and cut it up so that we're just like the most racist,
Oh, that would be so easy to do.
It's like not hard to do, and it's also like
someone should please do that.
Yeah, you're using our words against us, and that's like, but like at the end of the day, it's like that's not how we actually feel. That's not actually who we are, or whatever. There's no reason for me to get mad at something that is entirely fictitious, and it's like some people can misinterpret what we're saying or whatever, and be like, well, I found you guys because of these like horrible things that you said that in the supercut, and I'm like, well, it's out of context, so it's like those aren't my words.
Yeah, it's like
that's
someone else's a doctored image,
someone else's idea. Yeah, it's like. Who cares?
It's not even making you look bad.
It's not
like disparaging.
It's not making you. It's not doing anything other than giving you a little bit more clothing, and they don't like it.
A little bit more class.
Yeah, it's like they don't like it. They think that they call it the digital burqa now. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. That's my favorite.
Pretty funny.
It's my favorite fucking argument too. Is just like, oh, you're really doing that because you guys are so on par. You guys are right there.
So oppressed.
You guys are so oppressed. You're right there with all of those women that had to wear the burqas in 2002 and go down to the Olympic Stadium in Kabul, and the halftime show for the Olympic soccer team was them executing women. You are that exact.
Whoa.
That is exactly who you are right now in this country as a female. Just because you don't have the right to kill your baby doesn't mean that you are like that's really what it boils down to. They just want to kill babies. That's fine.
We're getting into the murky waters.
No, we're not getting into murky waters. Fuck this shit. It's like what it is.
You're talking about abortion?
No, I'm talking about that they think that like they need to be able to have the right to control their body, where it's like you can do whatever. If you get pregnant, you can throw yourself in front of a fucking bus and kill the baby for all you care. Why does it need to be a fucking state issue? It's like just you're gonna do it no matter. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do with whatever means you have, no matter fucking what. You don't need to make it a fucking a political point. It's like at the end of the day, I always have found the abortion issue to be like it's a baiting thing to get people like me and you talking about something that we have no say in the matter ultimately. And like I don't get why all of a sudden identity.
I'd rather chicks be able to get an abortion than have to like lob themselves down stair towers.
I really could care less.
Painful.
I could care less. It's like you're gonna do whatever you're gonna do to begin with. You're gonna go to a country where it's legal. You're gonna go to a state where it's legal. You're gonna do it
but
yourself.
Why should you have to?
It's not that you have to. It's that you should have the it's your responsibility. You don't get pregnant on your own. You have like there's a way that you get pregnant. You get knocked up, and then from that point, it's your responsibility.
Yeah,
it's
but what if she was like pull out and the guy was like, "Oops, that's her responsibility"?
Yeah.
No, it's his.
I mean, it's both their responsibilities, but at the same time, whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
I feel like this is an
completely unrelated.
It's a tricky issue that we don't fully, as non-women, we don't have. I'm not going to go full woke here, but we don't have the full grasp of the issue.
I really don't care. It's like it's one of those like I understand why you want it. You guys want to feel like you're the dog driving the car. But this issue is completely.
You're calling me a dog now.
This is completely unrelated to you drive like you're no matter abortion is completely unrelated to you having like culpability for your actions, and like they're independent of one another. You don't need legal backing for you to be like. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, just like you're gonna dress slutty regardless of what people are. That's the only point I was trying to make. I was just trying to correlate it with like it's not going to affect your actions. You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, no matter what. It's your perception online or whatever that you're harping on, and it's like if you were gonna change, you could dress more slutty. You could get an abortion, no matter how you want to do it. Like, but at the end of the day, what people's interpretation of you is that it's theirs. It's their opinion. You can't try and censor what other people think of you. That is a fucking illogical way of doing it. And that was what I was trying to get. I got way off topic. That was a real circle jerk.
Got a little deep in the murky waters.
That's been on like the front of my mind too, because they keep trying to conflate the two issues with like abortion and like it's like women's body rights in general it's because like now like the digital burqa thing, it's like they're trying to say that somehow is a body issue. It's like, no, that's just a social media issue.
Trolling.
It's a social media issue, and that's where it starts and it ends. You don't like the way that people are photoshopping you. Shut the computer off. Exactly. Walk away.
The same with like cyberbullying. Yeah. Just like log off.
I'm sorry, I really did get off topic on that. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
My son got his first haircut.
He's cute.
Shout out to Probasco's barbershop or something like that. It's in Linwood. A lot of Linwood talk. Yeah, it's across from Mainland and that like
that big place.
Fancy building.
No, exactly.
It's really nice in there. They got like gold chairs, pool table, projector, playing a fucking.
Did you play
movie.
A little pool?
Nah.
Teach Vinny how to break the eight.
My nephew did the next day. He was like fucking around with the pool balls. He went in. But that is juxtaposed into Razor Tail Cuts was the Instagram handle that I was just taking a shit this morning. He just randomly started chirping me, commenting on like pictures of my kid, being like, "Why does it look deformed?" and like saying like I'm a 42-year-old loser who spends more time in comment sections and with my son, like all this shit.
He's here right now.
I think it was because there's that coffee page. It's like the fat chick who makes coffee for a living, and then that got put on Tom and Christina's podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
About how like everyone hates on it.
Yeah, it's like the
and
most.
That just fueled the hate even more. It got me. Every video she posts now, I just comment hate. So I'm like, is this that fat coffee retard's fucking alt account? Fuck you, you fucking fat fucking shit. Like I started going off. I got banned and they blocked me. But yeah, I'm gonna have to make my page private because. Just random, like, just coming at me and being like, your kid looks deformed. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, I'm literally just taking a shit.
I'm that guy, though, sadly. It's not like towards your kid, but I'm the one that I'm like, I say something and I'm like, oh, shit, this guy's got to live with what I just made fun of.
I don't even know who. See, most internet quarrels I get into, you know what you did or what you said. And I'm like, this was unprovoked. Just like,
started
going for my neck in my comments and then just blocked me. And I'm like, I'm just in there like, what the fuck was that? Like, and he was like, come find me. And like made his page not private for like a minute. And I'm looking at it. It's just like some like 16-year-old punk doing like skateboard tricks. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, it threw me such for a loop, but it's fun. It's to segue those because the barbershop and then this guy's name was Razor Tail Cuts. So I don't know if he cuts hair. I don't know who it is.
Cuts his wrists.
Yeah, hopefully.
16-year-old emo.
Yeah, but he was shitting on the podcast too. He's like, hopefully your podcast gets more than 78 subs. So hopefully Razor Tail Cuts.
Hopefully it'll be number 79.
Yeah, give us a sub.
We'd love to have you on anytime you feel like calling in.
Come on here and tell me why you were trolling me. Like, was it related to the coffee thing? That's the only thing I don't mind the troll.
He doesn't mind the trolling. Just tell us what the catalyst was. Yeah, like I mean, we'll find something to make fun of you about, but that's just we're
down for some friendly banter. But yeah, I was just so taken aback by like, who the fuck is this? Like, what did I do to offend you, sir? Like,
well, that was why I said it was like it's a little bit ambiguous too. I forget what exactly it was in the big Doug Stanhope group back, like the Great White American.
I was never in that one. See, I think I posted some profanities and got banned immediately. And I was like, this group stinks.
I got into it with someone that ended up being one of the mods of that group. But you know how like at one point on Facebook there was just like 9 like our Stanhope group and then like 9 other Stanhope groups. So I was just getting updates and someone commented on something I had said and I just turned around and like clicked on the dude's profile picture and saw his wife was fat and it was like, I bet you're going broke trying to strap a feed bag to that old fucking wife of yours. And
I did a similar comment recently to someone.
And like, he insta like, don't you dare talk about my family like that. And then I'm like, you got to be defensive. Like you got to take the bull by the horns. Like, you know, bring her inside. And like he's just trolling this dude's wife like relentlessly, just calling her fat and like a cow and whatnot. And then like a day goes by, I get kicked from the group, and then I get a message in my inbox. He's like, I just would like to formally apologize to you and say sorry. I was having a bad day yesterday, and I understand why you were saying what you were saying. I don't think it was right, but I understand it, and I would like to just say from my sincerest apologies. I was like, I was just having fun, bro. Like, I mean, I was just making fun.
I thought you were going to double down. All right, fatso.
I think he like unfriended me or something like that immediately after, so that like he got the last word. It wasn't cunty or anything. It was just like he wanted to feel. He said something about praying on it too. Like I'll pray for you, and I'm like, dude,
settle down.
You're trying to be the moral high ground.
You know who Doug Stanhope is?
Yes.
The Great White is not a Bible reference to thinks he's in a Bible study group.
He thinks he's in the Klan. They all burned so many crosses in this group. I don't like it.
Well,
yeah.
He's moving and grooving.
All right.
I had something else I wanted to plug, but I can't remember.
My butthole with your tongue.
Yeah, that works. I think it was that barbershop. Probasco's. My son got a better haircut than me.
Nice. I mean,
Turns out they're better than Sports Clips.
He looks handsome. He's a good.
Well, I got a head massage from a lady.
A nice lady. Lady.
$5 VIP, dude. They'll fucking rub your head.
That little sink thing they have back there, I do feel like I'm always nice. About to get tugged off under the fucking dude. Come on. So there's this time.
How much for the happy ending?
There was this time where I was trying to describe to my aunt that I thought the chick cutting my hair was a stripper, and my aunt, I ended up going down this rabbit hole of explaining like when you're at strip clubs, it's like you can tell like what their jobs are like their day jobs are generally by like scars or just their disposition or what they say and shit like that. And she's like, well, what made you think your barber or your hairdresser was like a stripper? I was like,
dancing on the chair.
She walked over and does this thing that they tell you to do where they start like around your wrist over here and then take their hand and rub it all the way across the back of your neck and your shoulders and then end up right here and then sit on your lap. And she did it every bit of that move up until the sit on the lap. And my aunt's like, oh, okay.
Probably right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, yeah.
I had a weird experience with a barber before prom. Supercuts in Marmora. This lady was hammered. She had to be. And she just kept telling me
I thought she had to be to cut your hair.
She was the prom.
Phrasing.
She was the. I gotta run. She was the prom queen, and that she got so drunk at prom, and that my girlfriend was very pretty and all this weird shit, and she gave me the most fucked up haircut of my fucking life. Like, I look like the biggest dingus, and like me and Sarah were both so mortified that like we didn't want to go back and complain to her, so we went back like the next day and like told them what happened, and he was like, Cheryl's always fucking her.
She's a little fucking sauce, baby.
Yeah, she's good at what she does, but she might have had a few too many that night. But they fixed it for free, and it all ended well. But that was the weirdest barber experience where I'm like, I'm 17, this lady's just telling me like, oh, you're gonna get weird at prom, you're gonna get so drunk, fuck her. I'm just like, can I just get a 1 and a 2 on the sides or whatever the fuck, a 2 on top and a 1 on the sides? She fucked me up, dude.
Tyler's wedding, that we can end on this. Tyler's wedding, I went to that same exact Sport Clips, and the lady, I don't think she was drunk, she was just blind. She fucking cut my bangs like up in triangular.
You did have a fucked up
dude. I had the night before, all the pictures, my hair looks normal, and then it was like, they were like, did you cut that yourself? Like, Tyler asked me,
remember,
like, did you cut that yourself? I'm like, no, I actually paid money for this. He's like, you should shoot that chick. I'm like, okay, all right. Anything for you?
Give Stewart's Handyman Service a call if you need anything done to your crib. 338-9427. Good dude, good price, and fucking good looking dude. You know what I'm saying? Handsome guy.
Yeah. So Jay's doing comedy this week at Asbury Park, and he's got one other one. Where was the place that
Cold Spring Village.
Yeah, Cold Spring Village. That was the other one. And then he's in the contest March 1st in Del Mar, Delaware. He's doing the funniest in Del Mar. He made it to the quarterfinal.
Oh, shit.
He's in the quarterfinal.
He had his first paid gig. He made
his first
$8 last night.
He did. He also got bumped by some. Oh, that was the other thing I want to fucking talk about. Can I just trash them real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a podcast called The Bombed Podcast starring Liam Wolf, Matt Laurie, and Matthew Komar.
Our new adversaries.
Fuck the
Bomb Podcast.
The dude Liam bumped.
We're starting a war, dude. This is a declaration. We're coming for you.
The dude Liam bumped my dad the other day, and apparently Jay could have had 2 mics in a night, and the guy just ran late, and Jay didn't even get to go on the 1 mic, so he almost missed both mics because of that. And
someone gave him a few minutes of their time.
Yeah, because this dipshit fucking was rambling to the host, and the host couldn't get on stage. So yeah, Bomb Podcast. Go review Bomb, their podcast, and thanks for listening. Go fuck yourself.
Love you guys.